Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his girlfriend has another boyfriend. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I, 37 male, and my ex-girlfriend, 36, began dating last year. We were both sapiosexual. We wanted partners that would understand our quest for knowledge and our zeal to increase our intelligence. We found these and, most importantly, love in each other, and so we became a couple. As our relationship progressed, I began to notice she always hit on younger guys wherever we found them. I wasn't a jealous spouse, but her action irked me. When I complained, she told me I was acting like a child and treating her like she was my toy. Later on, she apologized and assured me she wasn't hitting on anyone, and that I was probably imagining that because men had a jealous nature. Then, on a Monday like this one, I got a frantic call from her friend asking me to come over to her place urgently. I arrived and met her and a young man around 26 years there. I was horrified when I learned that he had recently broken up with my girlfriend because he realized she was toxic. He said she was aggravated when she found out he was traveling abroad, so she stole his papers and refused to return them. I asked him why he was even at her friend's place. He told me she had told him she lived there with her sister and sister's kid. In truth, she often went there to babysit her friend's kid. Her friend is a nurse with crazy shifts. He said he needed to see my girlfriend as he needed his papers urgently. I took him home and waited for my girlfriend's return. The moment she arrived and set her eyes on him, she turned white as paper. Her reaction said all there was to say, but I still asked her what her relationship with him was. She said she wasn't ready to talk to me about it. She turned on her heels and left. After the guy left, I got a call from the hospital telling me she had an accident, crashed her SUV, and broke her left arm. I was her emergency contact. I went to see her at the hospital to confirm she was fine, and all she could say was that if I loved her, I shouldn't help her AP find his papers that she needed to keep him around. I stared at her for a good 5 minutes, wishing she had a concussion because then I would have attributed her crazy talk to that. I left the hospital angrily, and when I got home, I rummaged through the house and found the papers. I called the owner to come get it. He thanked me and apologized again for dating my girlfriend. He didn't know she was in a relationship. When my ex returned home the following day, she went straight to where she hid the papers. And on discovering it wasn't there, she became livid and started yelling at me. I couldn't condone her attitude, not when she was the guilty party and was still acting like I offended her. Calmly, I packed her bags, took them outside, and then ordered her out of my house. She told me she would break up with me if I didn't take back my word. This gave me the pleasure of telling her to get lost. She left angrily, swearing and crying. Calmly, I packed her bags, took them outside, and then ordered her out of my house. She told me she would break up with me if I didn't take back my word. This gave me the pleasure of telling her to get lost. She left angrily, swearing and crying. It's been a week, and I still don't know what to make of everything that happened. I don't know where she is, nor do I care. How did I even get myself into this effing mess? Edit. Sapiosexual is a person who finds intelligence sexually attractive. Update. Last month, my ex messaged me telling me she hated her new boyfriend and that he was pissing her off. She said he quit work and was living off her. And as if that wasn't enough, he brought cats home. She hates cats. She also called him a thief, said he never listened to her and was always gaslighting her. I told her I didn't give a flying fudge monkey about her or her relationship. She called me a bluff and told me she wanted to come back, that I was the one for her. She promised to be nice to me and give me the love I needed. I told her I would rather eat my eyes than date her again. I wished her fun with her new boyfriend and warned her not to call me again. After I hung up, I blocked her line. It was a new one. Today I woke up and remembered and thought it's nice to share it here. Thank goodness you ended things with your ex, OP. She sounds like a huge piece of work. She cheated on you and then she acts like it's no big deal. Then she tells you to help her keep her AP around if you care about her. Who does that? Why on earth would you want her to help her keep her AP around? Your ex needs professional help. It's a good thing she's not your problem anymore. Let her new boyfriend deal with her. Continue to block every number she calls you with, and whatever you do, do not take her back. I'm sure you would meet someone else who is your type and isn't toxic. Story 2. Background. I'm a 25-year-old male, she's a 25-year-old female. Been married for almost 3 years, been together for about 5.5. She was engaged to a cheating, emotionally abusive guy when we started dating. I didn't know for the first few months, when she told me she was in the process of breaking it off. I'm in the Air Force, moved to South Korea 3 months ago without her. We'll be here for about 10 more months. We're going to Germany after this, but she really doesn't want to leave her friends and family behind for 3 years. Even though my last duty station required her to fly home to see them, I think the idea of having an ocean instead of a country between them is tripping her up. I also know that she wants to finish school. And being a military spouse makes it hard for her to finish because of some in-person requirements for the degree. She has about 2 years left of school. I never wanted to come to Korea, so please don't blame me for leaving. My wife, I'll call her Kay, called me this evening to tell me that she wanted a divorce. It was out of the blue, and I didn't accept her initial excuse of, "You deserve someone better." I was obviously devastated and kept trying to tell her that she's been the perfect wife. We've had one rocky period about 8 months ago, but we worked through it. I eventually dragged out why. She had gone over to a guy's house for a drink. She's known this guy for a few years and had a thing for him before we were together, and ended up sleeping with him. It didn't continue from there. She broke off contact, blocked his number and his Facebook, and has avoided him like the plague. I asked why she did it, and she told me that she had been lonely and depressed, but not much else. We talked for a few hours after she initially told me. I didn't yell at her or call her names, even though I wanted to scream. And I'm getting the feeling that she wants to make the marriage work. She's hung up on the school and overseas thing, but she seems willing to compromise for 3 years and be with me. In case it needs to be said, I've never cheated on her. I actively avoid any situations where there could even be a chance of me losing my inhibitions. I only drink when I play video games at home, and even then, I only have 3 or 4 regular beers, and it's only every couple of months. Our sex life is great, and my wife is a very loving, attractive woman, so I've never had the desire. What I need advice on is this: should I stay and try to forgive her, or should I leave? Her history isn't great with the whole fidelity thing as stated in the background. But until this point, she's been faithful. I trust that she's been faithful too, because had she not told me, I would have never found out. I can still see a future with her, and I can't bring myself to hate her for it. My mother cheated on my dad, and they worked through it and have been together for 25 years. It's been 20 years since her indiscretion, so I've seen that it can work. However, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get the suspicion out of my head. I'm a naturally suspicious person, but I've let her do whatever she wanted, going to bars without me, staying at a female friend's house if she had too much to drink, etc., because I hate the thought of being a crazy, controlling husband. I gave her a lot of leeway, even when it made me uncomfortable, and now I feel like the only way I could ever trust her again is if I knew where she was at all times. And I don't want to treat an adult like a child. What should I do, Reddit? What should I do, Reddit? I'm so lost and I need advice. Edit. We don't have any children, just 2 dogs that I love as much as kids. We have separate incomes and already discussed that we would take our debts and money with us amicably if we decide to go through with divorce. I'm halfway around the world, so I would cut my losses with all of our possessions if we divorce. OP, before you make any permanent decisions, get your father's advice. He's already gone through all the emotions you're feeling right now, and he has 20 years of perspective on them. If you want to save your marriage, you should both start seeing a professional counselor who has experience counseling couples through infidelity. They can not only help you deal with your feelings, but also show you areas of your marriage where you haven't been communicating as well as you thought you have. Now for some comments. It really isn't worth it. All the worrying about what is happening, who she's talking to, where she is. Not good for your health, body, and soul. I'm sorry, I know you're looking for any shred of hope to make it work. She willfully went over to his house and effed him, all because she felt a little lonely. Trust me, this will not be the only time she'll feel lonely. What happens when you're sent somewhere else? She'll be lonely. Then what? Based on the information and what I've read, I would part on good terms. A relationship doesn't always work out, even if you marry. She has a certain future envisioned for herself. Your lifestyles are pulling you in two different directions, and you are now hurt because of it. To hold on to a relationship that isn't working will make you both develop ill feelings towards one another, especially if one of you feels like the other's preventing a future you envisioned. I would advise parting on good terms, and try to preserve the dignity that is left in the relationship. First off, I'm sorry this happened to you. It sucks. If it helps any, it does get better with time. None of us can tell you what to do. In the end, it really comes down to the two of you. Either of you can say you are done, and you are done. A few things strike me as good signs here. She told you on her own. Sounds like she is really remorseful, so for her own reasons may not be likely to do it again. That said, this is her second time. From the way you describe it, I would lean towards saying she has some need for affirmation, and might be a bit too of an easy prey for men looking to take advantage of her weakness. That doesn't excuse her, but suggests she should get counseling and figure herself out. You are both young and no kids, so sitting would be easy. If you do, make sure you still deal with this and forgive her and yourself, or this will haunt you forever. Also, since you're on active duty, I think you should have an option to get some form of counseling. I'd recommend it.